This is the Ricoh GR3X, and this is a small compact camera with an APS-C sensor. And the Ricoh GR cameras are known for street photography, but in my case, I just use it as a dumb camera. What is happening, guys? Gary Jahman here, back at it again with a new video. Hope you're doing well, hope you're safe and happy. So in this video is all about this little compact camera, and I have to admit, I was very impressed with the image quality, but there are some things that you really need to know. And yes, this is the GR3X version, so the 40mm equivalent in terms of full frame, cameras, sensors. This is something else. This is something special. It packs a punch, but you definitely need to know something before you use this or before you buy this, because you know, the way that I use this, just everything in auto mode, everything just straight out of the camera without no post-processing, just very minimal, maybe some corrections with the horizontal lines and stuff like that. But in general, I just use this as a very an easy point and shoot camera, right? Because it's small, it's compact, you can bring it with you. It literally fits in my pocket, as you see here. But before we begin with that, let's begin with talking about the build quality, because I think that is important. Because what do you get for a camera that costs well over 1,000 euros or 1,000 bucks, US dollars that is? First of all, as you see, it is a nice small compact camera, but the feeling itself, it doesn't feel very premium, I have to admit. It doesn't feel very like you're carrying around something that looks like it is 1,000 euros or 1,000 US dollars. Just looking at it, you may think that, okay, this is maybe around 500 US dollars or 500 euros, something like that. But in overall, for me at least, this doesn't feel very premium compared to my iPhone, as you see here, right? The iPhone 14 Pro Max just looks more premium. Anyways, the grip itself, it's okay. I don't have the biggest hands in the world, so for me, the grip is fine. What do you get even more? At the top, you got a hot shoe flash mount where you can put in several accessories. Then we got the mode dial, an on and off switch, and of course a nice large shutter button, which is really nice, and also a little wheel to set the aperture or shutter and all those things. At the left side, we got the video mode button, and the video itself, you know, can be very short about it. It's totally whack. At the right side, we got a USB-C input, and that's about it for those sides. At the back, we got a nice LCD screen. And this screen, you know, I really wish it has a little bit of tilt. You can tilt it, but it's not, it's just fixed. This screen is fixed onto the camera. So if you are somebody who likes to take photos like this or like this, can be very tricky. So you have to really sometimes just pray and hope you get the shot. So for street photographers, I thought they all shot like this, you know, like so a little bit like so. But if you shoot like this, you don't see anything. So the way you do it is most of the time I just shoot like this, one-handed, like click, click, click. This is how I shoot with this camera. At the back, we got even more buttons. I do admit the buttons they feel really good, they feel really nice, so nothing special about it. At the bottom, we got the tripod mount, we got the battery door with the memory card slot or the SD card slot, and of course the battery. The battery is okay. I heard people complaining about it for shooting it for like 200 shots or something like that, then it's totally done. 200 shots for a full day is sometimes more than enough, guys. More than you need. 200 shots is really a lot for just walking around. Even when you're traveling, you don't want to. Just be very thoughtful of what you're shooting with, and should be fine for a full day. But if you do more than 200 shots per day, definitely get yourself a extra battery with you. At the front, we got the lens itself, of course, a fixed lens, 40mm equivalent, full frame equivalent, but that's about it in terms of, I would say, the build quality. As I mentioned, not the best build quality in the world, but it fits in your pocket. The user friendliness of this camera, just by using it as a dumb person, everything in auto, just shoot whatever you want, not thinking about it. That works perfectly fine. But what about the image quality, right? People are so crazy about it. They really love this camera, and I do see the reason why, because the image quality coming out of this sensor, out of this camera, is actually pretty good. So here are some photos. These are all JPEGs. Some of them are in the black and white color profile that this can produce. It also has different other profiles, but for me, I just put it on standard and sometimes on black and white. You know, black and white looks really cool as well, I have to admit, but for me, just by walking around, shooting it in the standard profile, the color profile, it works perfectly fine. The image quality is really good, really nice, sharp and clear. I like the colors, and it's very it's not very natural colors, I would say, but more or less a little bit more contrasty. It has a certain type of feeling, which I think a lot of people would like. Also, in not so good lighting conditions, it works perfectly fine. The noise reduction it has built in is pretty good, pretty solid, but don't expect that you have the best image quality when it's really dark. It doesn't have a built-in flash or anything, so be careful with that in darker lighting conditions, but in overall, I would say the image quality out of this camera is really good for multiple things. Not only street photography, just everything what you're doing, travel, walk around with it, maybe even some portraiture. I'm not sure about events because the autofocus is a little bit tricky, I would say, but it can be done if you know what you're doing. As I mentioned, you can also do video, but the video, just don't bother with the video, it's just really crap. Just use your iPhone or your Samsung phone or whatever, because it will be much better than using this as your video camera. So in general, again, image quality is really nice and really pleasant to look at, but still, is it worth $1,000, 1,000 euros? Let's talk about it later. The performance out of this, the autofocus performance, I mean, out of this camera, is not that great. I wish it has modern autofocus, but the autofocus is really not that reliable, and a lot of times you just have to pray a little bit that it will focus directly on the right spot and the right subject. But in overall, the autofocus is not that reliable, and sometimes you can even miss a shot. Sometimes it's not really there. I do want to mention that in this video, I'm not going to dive in a lot about the features, because I know it has quite some nice features as well, such as the snapshot that you can do. You can put in a certain distance between you and your subject, let's say 3 meters, and every time you fully press the shutter, it will directly focus on the 3 meter distance, and then you'll get the photo. But with a 40 millimeter equivalent, it's quite difficult to get that, because you do have that depth of field, and it's quite easy to miss focus if you use the snap focus or snap feature. There are also other features, but I don't want to talk about that, because I just want to show you what you can do by just putting this in auto and have fun with it without thinking too much about photography rules, photography styles and stuff like that. Just have fun with what you're doing. The only thing is, as I mentioned, the autofocus is not that great, so that takes the fun a little bit out of this camera. That is something that I really want to stress out here, that if you are somebody that's coming from, let's say, a Sony or a Canon camera or even a Nikon camera, and you're used to pretty good autofocus, don't expect the same, or at least the bare minimum autofocus out of this little guy, because it's not there for sure. So with all that being said, right, do I still recommend this camera? And the answer is yes, because I do have a lot of fun with this camera. There's one thing that I want to stress out as well. This is a fun camera to bring with you, to use it in many occasions. I brought it with a birthday party. I brought it just to walk around, going everywhere, to the office, whatever, because it's so easy and nice to have. Image quality is better than that from a phone, of course, and it just captures a lot of things. I only wish that the price was a little bit more, around 700 euros, 750 US dollars, something like that. And I wish the autofocus was much better. And then if there will be a new version of this with better autofocus, then that one will be much better and much easier to use as well. All right, I think that's about it. Some alternatives, maybe. I would say if I want to choose between this guy that is very pocketable or a phone, I would say use this guy. But if I want to use like a smaller camera, a small camera that also can do a lot of video content creation, but also take some nice photos, I would go with the Sony ZV or ZV-E10, because then you can also change lenses, you can also shoot video, you can also tilt and flip the screen and stuff like that. You got a little bit more options for even less money than this. So yeah, that's all from me, guys. Thank you again for watching. Subscribe to the channel if not already. Like the video, comment down below what do you think about this camera, the Ricoh GR3X. And by the way, I'm filming this with the DJI Osmo Pocket 3. So yeah, what do you think about this image quality? I think it's nice to have this little camera here. So yeah, let me know in the comment section down below if you got any questions about the Ricoh camera or suggest anything, whatever. I'm here to check that out with you. I don't know what I'm saying. See you. Bye-bye.